Before you write another SEO page, you need to ask yourself this brutally important question. How many keywords should I use? Because if you use certain keywords in a page when you shouldn't, Google will actually reward the weaker competitor that has targeted the right keywords instead of your page with great content, and it will probably bury in page 3 in Google. In this video, I'm going to show you the process I use in my agency to decide what keywords should be targeted with what page, as well as when a group of keywords have to be split into 2 different pages to actually rank. And most importantly, how to validate that your decision is correct using Google's results. The answer is right in front of us. So let's get to it. So to understand if 2 keywords should be targeted in one page or in 2 separate pages, and the same logic when it's more than 2 keywords, you need to look at 2 things. First, the semantics. In this case, I mean, do 2 words semantically, when you look at the context, mean the same thing or not? And the second thing is what you see right here is the overlapping of results in Google. And I'm going to show you 3 ways to check it with this cool tool, with this other cool tool that does the same, and with a free one that's a little bit longer to use, but it's free. So the first thing is that sometimes the semantics might be very obvious or not so much. The best way for you to understand it is to show you these 4 examples. So in this one, can you take babes on a plane, or can you bring babes on a plane? You can really see that the difference is take and bring, and that doesn't really change the semantics. It actually means the same thing. So semantics check, I would say these 2 keywords go together. But now we do have to check the Google results, because sometimes you'll be surprised that 2 words look like the same thing, but you actually need to create 2 different pages. But when we look at the results, you can see that this URL from Reddit is ranking number 1, and this one, and this one, and this one. So you can see there's actually a 75% overlap. So 6 common URLs out of 10. And this means that yes, the results are the same. So for example, if we were the owners of this website, let's say, we created one page, probably targeted the word take and the word bring, and we succeeded at ranking in position 5 for both keywords. So one page can rank for both keywords. And therefore you target 2 keywords in one page, the same thing. If you want the link of this tool, it's actually in the description of the video. Now I'm going to show you 2 examples. 2 of them show 6 common results, 6 and 6, but for one of them, you should create one page for both, and for the other one, 2 different pages because of the semantics. So let's look at this one. In fact, this is the same keywords I'm targeting with this YouTube video, so let's see if we rank for it. But we have how many keywords should I use and how many keywords per page. One important thing to note here is also that if you're going to use semantics, you do need to know about the topic. So if you have SEO clients and you don't really know about criminal law, you're not going to really have a good opinion about semantics, so you will rely more on the Google results or vice versa. In this case, I am an SEO, so when you look at them, they do look pretty similar, right? How many keywords should I use and how many keywords per page? But there's one nuance that, in my opinion, makes it different semantically, and is the per page variable. How many keywords should I use? There was another keyword of how many keywords should I use in my website. Is essentially being searched by someone who doesn't really think on a per page basis and is just thinking as a whole website, probably a beginner SEO. So they want one thing, keywords for the whole website, under one type of people, which is probably beginner. But when you start to say per page, now it's a different concept, because there's one set of actions you have to do to target keywords for the whole website, and another different set of actions you have to do to target per page. And this video targets the per page basis. And probably the person is advanced enough to know that they need to add per page, so it's a different type of audience than the first one. But I could be wrong, of course. So if we look at the results right away, there's 6 common results, so it's like, okay, maybe I am wrong, but 6 is still in the middle. And keep in mind that there's not a magic number of 3 or 6 or 5. You do have to go through this process. It takes me quite a lot to do it with my clients, but it's the difference between succeeding in SEO and not succeeding. So having 6, we need to look at something different here. We need to look at how they are overlapping. Are they going up or are they going down? So one thing I like to do is do Control F and search that variable. In this case was per page. So it's the word page that I want to actually look at. And there's something interesting here. The 3 websites that directly target the variable per page have improved their results with the per page keyword. In fact, one of them went all the way from position more than 10, probably position 80 or whatever, all the way up to position 5. And the same way, vice versa. You see this one, they didn't target per page, they actually target this one, and you see they went down 5 positions. So this and the semantics tells me that this is a great opportunity to go and create a page for the variable how many SEO keywords per page and focus just on that and talk to that audience. And then the same thing for how many keywords we should use without focusing on the per page. So one page for this keyword and one page for this keyword. And that will be better than created one page that targets both keywords and both concepts. And here is almost the same, but a different result. When do feet stop growing? When do men feet stop growing? Growing. I'm not an expert at this, but normally the variable men, again, if we look at the audience, this is generic audience, this is specifically for men. And maybe, I'm not an expert again, but there's something about men for this topic that is unique, and therefore you should create a page only for men, right? So for me, not being an expert, the semantic tells me you should create a page for men and a page of like neutral, no gender. But when we do look at the results, Control F, and let's put men, we see that no one really targets men in here. It's either men and women, or just no targeting at all, or we can see men here, but this page is not about feet specifically. So now Google has grabbed like another variable. So when do men stop growing without focusing on feet? And we can see that results are a little bit mixed, some of them going down, some of them going up. And you can see here's Reddit, they didn't mention men. But here's the amazing thing with SEO. I was preparing this video and I was actually, like I said, gonna show you an example of how you shouldn't create one page for men and one page for neutral. But looking at it now, it might be an opportunity to do it. Let me show you why. First, because exactly this. Google has grabbed a URL specifically targeting men, but not feet, which you could argue that is like Google doesn't really have men and feet together, so it's just grabbing at least something for men because it doesn't really have any other option. And funny enough, this is why it's so important with the details. I was just about to say, oh, Reddit is ranking a neutral one, but it says guys here. And you can see exactly it's Reddit, which you could argue that Google ranks Reddit when it doesn't have anything better sometimes, and it's a very big stretch, but I sort of have that mentality. And it is targeting men because instead of the word men is guys, but it's the concept of male. And it went from this position all the way up. So actually, as I'm recording this, I'm changing my mind. I actually think it could be at least a test. It's not super clear, but it is a test that you should create a page for men and feet specifically, and one for just in general men and women and whatever. And this is especially true looking at the second variable that this tool gives you, which shows you the SEO power of these websites. So there's some strong ones, of course, but you can see there's some small websites that are ranking there with low SEO power. I look at the DR here, and specifically at the men. So this is the men one, and you can see 40. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not the best. 32, 0. That's insane here. So I think this is a really good opportunity, and I might actually do it with my client. So you're starting to see here that there's really a human check, and there's almost like an art to it. You need to be able to read it and read different variables at once. And sometimes the same variables might be almost the same like you saw, but these two different results, or not. Like in this time, we both agreed that we should create one page for that specific variable for both examples. And finally, I want to show you when the semantics are different. Best football academy in the world versus best football academy in Europe. Of course, like always, unless it's super clear, unless it was best football academy in Europe and best basketball academy in Europe, that's just obviously completely different, even semantic wise. This one could be seen as similar, but in my opinion, knowing football, this is two different concepts. Because in Europe, we don't add the world, and in the world, Europe might be added, but other countries might be added. So you need two different pages. To actually check this with a free checker here, all you need to do is this. You search the keyword in Google, and you actually get this extension called SERP Snippet Extractor, which I'm going to give it in the description of the video. And you have to click it, and that's it. It seems like it didn't work, but don't worry. You have to go to your duplicate checker here and just paste the results. Control V, and there they are, the results. And then all you have to do is go and find the URL column right there. There it is. Okay, copy it, and then you can delete the whole thing. We don't need all of this. And then you can paste it in your column. I already did here, but you would paste it in your column. Okay, there will be. And you do the same thing for the best academy in the world. You search the other keyword again, and you paste it in the other column. And it's very simple. This checker is going to highlight with red the duplicates. So actually, it's doing the same thing as here, telling you if there are duplicates between this and this. It's just obviously not telling you if something went up or down or whatever. And it's also not telling you the SEO power of the websites. But it's free. So you can see here, there's only one overlapping result, which is 1 out of 10. And the semantics in this case told me, yes, we should create 2 pages based on my experience, even though it wasn't completely opposite. But the SEO results definitely make it clear you should create 2 pages. So now we made the right decision. We create 1 page for Best Academy Europe and another page for best academy in the world. And by the way, I didn't mention it. If you want this checker right here, the link is in the description. You just have to go here, you will land here, put your email and your name, and you'll automatically get the checker plus so many templates. And in the big email with all the templates you're gonna get is the one called SEO duplicate checker. It's right there. You just make a copy of it and then you can start using it. So now you can reuse the concept we explained every time you do SEO. The problem is that we were talking one keyword versus one keyword. But normally you'll have a big keyword research with a lot of keywords together. So I'm going to show you how to use the same logic with lots of keywords. First, we're going to start with the easiest way, but is the most imperfect one. You need to go to the tool Ahrefs, which the link is in the comments. And then let's say you were to put keywords related to your business right here. And then we go to matching terms. And normally here you would see all the keywords in the world that contain these keywords. Again, the problem is that these keywords are individual, but actually Ahrefs added a new tab that's super useful and is clustered by parent topic. So now instead of single keywords, we have concepts, we have groups. So SEO for lawyers, imagine I'm an SEO agency, maybe I want to create a page for that, and we open, and in that page, we can target all these keywords. And looking at it quickly, you can see that semantically, so doing the semantic check, they do look pretty similar. So now you could create a page for this. And by the way, the name of the cluster is basically the keyword with the most volume in here. And then target all these keywords inside your page. That's so much easier than everything I just explained in chapter 1, right? Problem is that it's not looking at the top results to cluster keywords. It actually tells you what it's doing right here. And it's pretty tricky about it. So what it does is that it looks at this keyword right here and every single one out of these, and they take the #1 page ranking for that keyword and find the keyword responsible to sending the most traffic to that page, which is very confusing. But what it means is SEO for lawyers, as you can see here, the keyword is here, and it finds the top result, which is here. And out of all the keywords that this website is ranking for, 101, it puts here the one that's bringing the most traffic. So that is a completely different logic than looking at the overlapping between two different results. And I don't trust that way of calculating it. And here's an example why. I just grabbed two keywords inside that cluster, SEO for lawyers and attorney website SEO. They were both in here. But when you look and you do the check in chapter 1, you can see that semantically you could say, I guess it's similar, but now it's attorney, now website. The concept is different. So I would say it looks pretty similar, but I'm not sure. So if we look at the results, now there's only 4 out of 10. But most importantly, and I think you can clearly see it, #1 result is there. So that's like a signal to be like, okay, we create one page and target both keywords. But look at everything else. They're all going down when all these websites that rank for SEO for lawyers go down the moment you put attorney. And these websites go up the moment you put attorney, and they don't rank for SEO for lawyers. Now, I don't want to leave you with a bad taste in the mouth with that new clustering thing that Ahrefs does. So I'm going to show you how to use the same concept, but actually get the real stuff we want, the keywords that overlap results. So you go to the clusters like here and you grab the main keyword right here. Ahrefs is pretty good at finding the main keyword for that cluster. Then what you have to do is go and search in Keyword Explorer, the keyword, and go all the way down. I'm not sure why they put it all the way down, because it's the first thing I go to. It's like they want you, probably like in the supermarket, like they put the things you want like far away so you interact with the tool. I wouldn't be surprised. That's quite smart. But what you want to do here is you want to export the keywords from the competitors that are clearly targeting the keyword. And there's 2 places to look at. First is the top keywords column right here. So SEO for lawyers, you can see all of these are targeting the keyword. Even the other ones, the keyword, again, it is semantically pretty similar. So you could say they're targeting it. But the other way to check is make sure you put one of the words related to the variable. So SEO for lawyers, or the word lawyer, and then you can see SEO. So SEO for lawyers. And you want to look at the title and the URL clearly, and obviously we said SEOs are taking care of this. This is a pretty valuable keyword because probably a lawyer that wants to do SEO that's searching that. So obviously the results are going to directly target the keyword. But this is the important thing. You need to make sure that you only export the keywords of the results that directly target the keyword. For example, if there was a URL here targeting how to do SEO, you would not select that one because that URL is ranking for this keyword. For whatever reason, Google sometimes does weird stuff, it mixes things. But if you use those keywords for the clustering we're gonna do next, you're gonna be bringing a lot of irrelevant keywords that should not be targeted with a page. Let me tell you what I mean. You go for the URLs that directly target the keyword and you open it right here to see their organic keywords. And then you just have to click that and go to a new page here where you're gonna see all the keywords that they rank for. And this is critical. You need to select only the ones in the top 10. Because we're going to assume that only the keywords ranking in the top 10 are the ones that are related to our main keyword SEO for lawyers. Meaning sometimes Google might rank this URL for how to do SEO and they rank in position 90. How to do SEO is clearly not neither semantically or with Google results related to SEO for lawyers. So if we were to bring that keyword in, it would be a mistake. And then you do that for all the competitors, and all you have to do is just either export or you can just select all of them and copy them, whatever you want. And then it's as simple as putting all those keywords in here. And then once they're there, you want to select the column and go to data and delete the duplicates. And now we have exactly what we said in the first chapter, but instead of one keyword versus one keyword, we got all of them together at once. Because if you think about it, we're doing the same thing we did here by looking at keyword 1 and keyword 2, but all together. But instead of the logic of using the keyword to see if there are common results, we are using the results and their common keywords to get all the keywords. Meaning if we grab SEO for lawyers in all the 3 competitors, you would see that they rank for it right here in position 2. This URL ranks for it here in position 1. And this one, let's say, they rank in position 4. But also they rank for SEO lawyer firms in position 4, and there we rank in position 1 and so on. So instead of using the keyword to find the results, we're using the results to find the keywords. I hope that sort of makes sense. And now the final, most pro way to do it, and is how I do it with my agency most of the times, is when you finish the keyword research, you'll end up with hundreds and probably hundreds of thousands of keywords. So instead of using 2 keywords like we did here, or going on a keyword by keyword basis like we did here, now we just grab all the keywords we found on our research and we can give it to a tool that's gonna search each keyword in Google, look at the results, look at the semantics for us, completely automated, and put those keywords either together or separate them depending on what it finds. And believe it or not, there's actually not that many tools that do this in the market. The one I've been using for years, and I know the owners, is this one right here, Keyword Insights, and it's literally so good. The link is in the description if you want to go to it. Just keep in mind that it costs a bit of money. It's the same one that I said here at the beginning to use. And this feature here is just keyword by keyword basis that is actually free. But if you want to use the one that it clusters all the keywords together, you have to pay. And you can see here, I gave it like 100,000 keywords and it made 56,000 clusters. And you can see all the clusters here all together, and all of these share results. Instead of using this, normally I export and I sort of turn that into my own agency thing. And you can see it's pretty similar to what Ahrefs had here, where we have, for example, who is the best soccer player in the world with a lot of data, and all the keywords are inside here, the same cluster. It's just now it really look at the search results and of the overlapping results and everything that I mentioned. The good thing is that there's actually a free one. I don't know how long it will be free, but there's a free one that does it for you. The only thing is that it only lets you put 200 keywords. So you cannot give it your whole research and it will look at it all together. And that's normally the best way to do it, because the more data you feed it to compare it against each other, the higher quality the clusters are going to be. Because now all the data and a lot of data is being compared to each other instead of either one keyword or in this case 200. But 200, it is a lot also if you're a beginner. If you want to know how to do it, just check this video next, and it shows you step by step how to find keywords and how to cluster them together. This was a pretty dense video. I knew it was going to be like that, see how many views it gets. But actually, this is, for me, in my opinion, the difference between a beginner, even an intermediate SEO, or a next level SEO. So do everything I said, check this video, and now, of course, it's your turn. Let's go.